everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really cool striped leg warmer. We're going to start with a ribbed edging for the bottom and work a double crochet all the way to the top, and we finish with a double crochet post stitch all the way around. This is a super easy project. It is useful. You can use any yarn and any size hook that you want. I'm going to be using the loops and thread yarn, and this is a 5 weight. It's a bulky yarn. You can see how thick it is there. And I am also going to be using a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. Start with a slip knot. Let's go ahead and chain 10. Now we're going to work a single crochet all the way back. When you get to the last one, you should have something that looks like this. We're going to chain 1, turn, and you can see the loops, your stitches on the top. You should have a front stitch and a back stitch. We want to work into these back stitches. So you don't want to go through the front, you want to go through the back. And the first one is always going to be hard to get because your yarn is kind of in the front. There's the front loop. You want to find the one right behind it. Put your hook in and do a single crochet. Find the next stitch. There's your front loop, and your back loop is right behind it. Put your hook just in that back loop and single crochet. Front loop, back loop. You want to work in the back loops only, all the way across. So I've worked in the back loops only. When you're done with that row, chain 1, turn, and you're going to do the same thing. Find the back loop of that first stitch and single crochet, and again back loop, single crochet. So you're going to work this pattern until you get a width that fits just above your calf. So just keep going back and forth, single crocheting into the back loops only of these stitches. Again, you can tell the front loops sit right facing you, and the back loops are going to be right behind them. And you just want to single crochet into those back loops, and that will form little ridges. Looks like a little ribbing on a hat. Back loops only, all the way across. And I am going to measure this, make sure that it fits nicely around my calf, just below my knee. You can see the ridges here on both sides, and it'll make a nice ribbing. Now what we want to do is join these two ends. So I'm going to chain 1, turn, You want your yarn on this side and the second piece of fabric that you're working into on your left side. You're going to match up the stitches. You're going to go into the back loop of this stitch and the front loop of this stitch. Pull through, single crochet, back loop, find the next stitch, front loop only, pull up and single crochet, and that will attach our two ends. So you want to work that all the way across, and then I will show you what to do next. Alright, so I have joined, seamed up. It is now a tube. Now we want to build our leg warmer. To do that, we're going to chain 2, and we are going to put a double crochet into these spaces all the way around. So you should have one on each side of your ridge. Just work a double crochet into those spaces. And your count doesn't matter for this project. You just want an even space double crochets all the way around. You don't want to add stitches because that will increase the width. You just want to go around adding double crochets on each side of those ridges. So work around and I'll see you when I get back to this point. Alright, so I've worked almost all the way around. I'm going to stick a double crochet right in to that space, that last stitch. Now, if you want to change colors, I have a tutorial that I will link in the description box below that shows you how to change colors in this manner. And that's my cat ears beanie. And it's the same principle of working double crochets in the round and changing colors every other row. For this one, I'm not going to change colors, and I'm not going to join with a slip stitch every round. We are going to work continuously around double crocheting. So when we get back to the beginning, we're going to find the top of our chain 2, and we're going to work a double crochet right into the top of that chain 2. Find your next stitch, double crochet into it, next stitch, double crochet into it, and that is the pattern. You're going to double crochet into every stitch all the way around and around and around and around until you get a length that you want for your leg warmer. I recommend anywhere from 16 inches to 18 inches, but again, depending on how long your legs are and how long you want your leg warmers, you can customize this as long as you want. So I have worked the double crochet around and around and around until I get a length that I want. Once you're kind of close to the length you want, find sort of the seam that we did on the bottom, because that's where you started working around and around, and you want to finish your double crochets in that same space. Here is the tail where we started. Here's my seam. So here is where I started working double crochets in the round. So I'm just going to guess that right about here is where I want to end and join with a slip stitch. So I'm over here, I want to end here. I'm going to continue working around, double crochet until I get to this point. I'm going to work a few more stitches just to kind of get a little bit closer to that spot where I joined and started working in the round. And you can stop every once in a while and just sort of eyeball it. All right. Once you get to that spot, you're just going to put a slip stitch into the next stitch, and that will close off the round. So now you should have something that looks like this, a tube essentially. Now we are going to put a double crochet post stitch into the last into every stitch around, and that will create just a little ending border on the top. And that's optional. You could very easily finish like this. You could put just a single crochet around the top. It's really whatever you want to do. Once you have joined with a slip stitch, we are going to work into the posts. So you have all of these stitches on the top that we normally work into. We are instead going to be working around these double crochet posts right there. So we're going to work around those stitches. We're going to work front and back, and we're going to alternate those all the way around. So we're going to work in the front of this one, in the back of this one, front of this one, back of this one. To start, you want to yarn over, and you want to find that first stitch. So we just slip stitch into this one, find that next stitch, and find the post that goes right underneath it. Put your hook in to the space on the right and come out on the space to the left. Yarn over, pull that loop through, and then work your double crochet. So that was a front post stitch. This next one we're going to work a back post stitch. To do that, we yarn over, and you're going to come in from the back. So you're still going to start in the space to the right of the post, but you're going to come in from the back and put your hook in so it's on the back side of your work. Your yarn should be you almost don't have to draw the loop around, the yarn around, because it should kind of fall there, but make sure you are putting the yarn there so you can draw that through the post. So you should have the 3 loops on your hook, and then you would work the double crochet. We want to do a front post. So you go in from the front and you put that post on your hook, almost as if it's, a loop. Draw a yarn through and work your double crochet. We're going to work a back post in this one. So we yarn over, but we're going to come in from the back, and our post is going to be on that back side of our stitch or our hook. Draw the yarn through and then work your double crochet. The next one is a front post. Yarn over, in from the front, and work the double crochet. Back post, in from the back, the yarn through and finish your double crochet. So keep working that all the way around, alternating. You're going to do front post, back post, front post, back post, until you get back around where you started. And now I'm back to where I started. You'll be able to tell because the post stitch creates a little bit of a bump. So you can just work into your last stitch and then slip stitch into the top of the next. And you've got a nice little mini ridge across the top. I'm just going to fasten off. And there we are. We've got our nice sort of ribbed cuff at the bottom, our double crochet work for the leg, and then a nice little mini rib cuffing at the top. So here we are, 2 warm, cozy leg warmers. Pretty quick pattern. It doesn't use too much yarn. I would recommend using at least 2 balls of the yarn that I used. So I used this Loops and Threads yarn. It's 109 yards, 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. At least 2 balls for each leg warmer. So you want to have probably 4 balls of those if you're going to use that yarn. It's probably overestimating it, but just so you have enough. You don't want to run out. These came out really cute. They're soft, they're warm, they're cozy, they're perfect for the cooler winter months. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.